that we've got 2 weeks to clarify what we pay if the UK wants to talk trade. President Trump has defended his America First approach at an Asia-Pacific Economic Summit. The online taxi-hailing service Uber loses an appeal against a ruling on the employment rights of drivers.
And here's your business headlines on Afternoon Live with Simon Mccoy. The UK's industrial output grew at its fastest pace so far this year in September. That's according to official figures from the Office for National Statistics. Separate data showed the UK's trade deficit in goods and services narrowed by more than expected in September. Now, broadband and landline customers will now get money back from their providers when things go wrong without having to claim it. This follows an Ofcom review which says customers were set for £142 million in payouts, around 9 times the current level, benefiting millions who suffer poor service. And the gap in pay between men and women will take 100 years to close. According to the Fawcett Society, today marks the point in the year when a woman on an average wage stops being paid relative to their male counterparts.
So, figures from 2 big retailers this week, M&S and Sainsbury's. How would you describe the numbers?
Probably.
We always use the same picture when we do this.
Do we?
Story. Yeah, that would have gone off.
That actually looks quite tempting, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it did a couple of weeks ago. It wouldn't now if it was anyway.
It might have hardened a bit since then. Yes. Mixed picture. Basically, retailers are in intense competition with each other, which means if their costs go up, which means if their producers charge more for their products, they can't necessarily pass that on to their customers because of the intense competition. So the pound being weaker means the input costs are higher, but that can't be passed on. So we saw that from Sainsbury's and Marks and Sparks this week. They basically said, you know, our profits are down, but our sales are doing okay.
Many companies going to have an eye on the budget just over a week's time. They're looking for pointers.
Yeah, the housing sector is one thing to watch, Simon, to be honest with you, because there's kind of going to be a huge benefit to the economy if the Chancellor decides to make it much easier to build homes. Now, it's obviously the construction companies will benefit for that, but also there's, you know, estate agents and lawyers, but also furniture companies and retailers, and people will be able to get their feet on the housing ladder, younger people especially, which is seemingly tougher and tougher in the southeast of England. So a lot of people are hoping for something on the housing market.
Now, I've just interviewed an MEP who talked about unknown unknowns, known unknowns, known knowns. I mean, the word
Donald Rumsfeld would be so proud.
I know he would, yeah. But it underlines this whole issue of uncertainty, and we keep hearing that's bad for business.
It's not really great for business because it is the old adage that they can deal with crises, but they don't really like dealing with uncertainty. So companies really do need some clarity in the coming weeks on these Brexit negotiations, because if they don't know what the post-Brexit trade arrangements will be, they don't necessarily know how or whether to invest.